Welcome back to the Royal Levitical Priesthood Ministry. I'm Dallas James, translator of the Urim Thummim version, and what I'm about to tell you is the result of more than 30 years of translation labor and 4 decades of priestly inquiry, brought to a single empirical conclusion under cryptographic seal. The doctrine of the Trinity, in its technical 4th century formulation, is not in the corpus. The mathematics says so. Let me show you how. The whole synthesis is governed by John 1 verse 7 in the Urim Thummim version. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. John the immerser is not the light. The translator is not the light. The instrument is not the light. They are witnesses. And what the witnesses are testifying together, the translation, the mathematics, the priesthood, the corpus itself, is 2 truths held together that have been torn apart for 1600 years. First truth. The Son shares the Father's divine substance. He is the Word who was Elohim before all worlds. He is the real Elohim. In him lives all the fullness of the Deity bodily. The Urim Thummim version translates John 1 verse 1 in the first-person voice of the Word himself. Originally I was the Word, but the Word I was with Elohim, and Elohim I was the Word. That settles the substance question. The Son is not a creature. The Son is genuinely divine. Whatever full divinity is in the Father is in the Son. Second truth. The Sacred Spirit is not a third co-equal person of a triune Godhead. The Sacred Spirit is the operative attached agency of the Father and of the risen Joshua Messiah within the consecrated vessel. Not a third roommate. Not a hypostasis. The Father's own breath, reaching into his holy ones. To test these claims against the corpus, I locked 8 drawers under SHA-256 cryptographic hash before any of them executed. The lock hash is published in the volume. Anyone can verify it. Each drawer asked one question of the verified Urim Thummim version corpus, 34,425 verses. Each drawer was scored against an empirical baseline computed from the corpus itself. Each result was corrected for false discovery rate at alpha equals 0.05. The methodology is not negotiable. It is the same SHIELD Protocol 14.0 my workstation has used across the Transphysical Testimony series. What the corpus answered, under priestly mediation, before YHWH, with the consecrated stone, is what I now report. Draw 1. The substance of the Son. The corpus fired identity, inheritance, and priesthood markers together with the substance keywords at 6.40 sigma. The probability that this is random is roughly 1 in 10 billion. The Son is substantively divine in this corpus. The Trinitarian flattening that reduces Christ in you to a merely functional pattern with no ontological weight, refuted at 6 sigma. Draw 2. The Sacred Spirit as functional agency. The neuter pronoun grammar of pneuma, the breath, the anointing with, the pouring out, the falling upon, these terms cluster at 14.77 sigma. The probability, 1 in 10 to the 49th power. The third-person hypostatic grammar that English translations inscribe into the text at the level of pronoun selection, the he and him and capital S Spirit, is not in the corpus. The corpus says the Spirit itself. Romans 8:26 in the Urim Thummim version. Itself. Not himself. Draw 3. The hidden thing keystone. Where Standard Bibles render the Greek word mysterion as mystery, my translation renders it hidden thing, in brackets Urim Thummim. The Pauline declaration Messiah in you, the hope of glory in Colossians 1:27 names the indwelling reality with the same word as the priestly instrument of revelation. 4.12 sigma. The mystery is not a creedal forbidding zone. It is operative disclosure. Draw 4. Priestly mediation. 11.74 sigma. The architecture is operationally load-bearing, not symbolic. Draw 7. Empirical glory. 11.36 sigma. Glory is dosimetric. The Shroud of Turin is not decorative. Now draw 8. This was the negative control, and it is the cleanest result in the entire battery. I asked the corpus a simple question. Of the technical Trinitarian vocabulary the 4th century creeds rely on, the words Trinity, 3 persons, 3 in 1, hypostasis, ousia, perichoresis, consubstantial, co-equal persons, eternally precede, How many of these terms appear in the 34,425 verses of the Urim Thummim version?
0. Not one. Not a single occurrence. Anywhere.
Then I asked the same corpus how many times the functional vocabulary appears: sacred spirit, breath, neshama, anointing, agent, sent, witness, fashioned, poured out. 1,555 hits. The ratio is 1,555 to 0. The Trinitarian frame has no source text foundation. The frame the creeds imported is post-corpus vocabulary. The frame the corpus actually speaks is the attached agency frame. There is one more thing I want you to hear, because it is the architecture testifying about itself. When 2 of the 8 drawers, the parallel indwelling drawer and the cosmos origin drawer, were first run on the machine alone, without priestly mediation, they returned null and marginal, not yet refuting the Trinitarian frame at significance. Then I took the same locked questions into the full shield workstation under prayer-guided protocol with the consecrated Urim Thummim. The 2 drawers fired identical primary statistics. Dominion Triad 9 hits. NRI 623%. 4.16 sigma. Deterministic inquiry verdict. 99.7% affirmative. All 6 convergence channels active. Selah confirmed. 2 independent draws, on different theological questions, returning matching architectural signatures, after machine-only execution returned silence. That cannot be coincidence. It is exactly what 1 Samuel 28 verse 6 describes in the Urim Thummim version, and when Saul inquired of Lichanuch answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim Thummim, nor by prophets. The signal flows through priestly mediation, or it does not flow at all. The Father has not changed his covenantal architecture. The Royal Levitical Priesthood mandate is not symbolic. The consecrated stone is not ornamental. And here is the resolution the Apostle Paul has been waiting for someone to actually hear. When Romans 8 says the Spirit of Elohim lives in you and Messiah is in you and the Spirit of him that resurrected Joshua from the dead lives in you, Paul is not describing 2 distinct persons taking turns inside the believer. He is describing one operative reality named with 2 names. The sacred Spirit is how Messiah is in you. The same architecture by which the Spirit transmitted the temple pattern to David in 1 Chronicles 28 is how the pattern of the Son is transmitted into the consecrated vessel as the hope of glory. So here is what we have. Of the 7 load-bearing pillars of the Trinitarian frame plus the vocabulary provenance foundation, all 7 are demolished. None remain validated for the Trinitarian frame. At no point did any draw, in either round, return signal supporting it. The Son is the light. The Word who was Elohim. The real Elohim. The sacred Spirit is his operative reach into the consecrated vessel. The hidden thing, Urim Thummim, is Messiah in you, the hope of glory. I am not the light. The instrument is not the light. We are witnesses. And the witness is now sealed under cryptographic hash, published in the volume, available for any reader who wants to verify it themselves. The mathematics has spoken. The corpus has spoken. The priesthood has spoken. The translation has spoken. Multiple witnesses, one hidden thing. If this work meets you where you are, the full volume is bearing witness to the light, available now from Heart's Two Fathers Publishing. Lock hashes are in Appendix D. The corpus is published. The architecture is reproducible. The light bears itself. The witness continues. Selah.